Hello guys and gals, this is Willow Plays What Ifs here, and I am making this video on a Monday and it is 6:26 p.m. So I'm going to try to make a few videos. This is going to be a 2-hour movie. If I can't make it, it's going to be either 1 hour and 30 minutes or around 2 hours. I don't know how long it's going to be. But I am going to try and do the best I can on this movie. It's been a while since I made a movie, so just think on it, just think about it. Okay, guys and gals, just think about it. And this won't really have any background music because of how long it's going to be. Just play any type of actually, yeah. I'm not going to play any music with this. And I got a few things I need to say in order for this to before I start the what if, just so I don't really go explain the whole details of her quirk to you again. Her quirk is kind of like AFO, 0 for 1, and all the other type of quirks, variants that you've seen in what ifs, but this one's a little different. How she gets people's quirks is she has to eat someone's flesh. Pretty much eat someone, cannibalize off of them in order to get their quirk. So, as you can tell, this is going to be a pretty fucked up what if. And because of how different her quirk is, things will not go pretty well with the people that find out about her quirk, especially Mama Ingo and stuff. So yeah, there's that, and let me think. Actually, never mind about Mama Ingo. I actually have a good idea for how I'm going to incorporate this what if. Actually, I have a good idea. Forget what I was saying about Mama Ingo not liking it. Ooh, I got a good idea. Oh yes. Okay, now her quirk, yeah, like I said, the drawback of course would be her having to consume people. But that's not really a drawback. That's just how she has to how should I say, have any effect on her quirk. She has to eat people and gain her quirks by eating them. What the drawback is she really has no empathy. She is a how should I say, a very simple case of someone that has how should I say, psychopathy. Is that what it's called? A sociopath? No, a psychopath, yeah. She's a very easy case of a psychopath. So yeah, there's that. That's the downside to her quirk. She is a pretty much down apt description of a psychopath. Probably not. I might change my mind after this once I roll my intro. I actually wonder what I know what my intro is gonna be. It's gonna be the sweet dreams are made of screams. That's the intro that I'm gonna roll out in a second, guys and gals. I hope you all have a good day or night. Hope you like my what if. Now that I'm done babbling, I hope you like, subscribe, tell me what you feel in the comment section, and go check out my streams, my GTA streams mainly. I really like GTA a lot, and I play a lot. Lately, I actually bought not what if, I bought Gotham Knights, and I want to know if any of y'all would be interested in me playing it. Though I have gotten through the game quite a bit, so you might be watching me midway through the campaign. But if y'all want me to actually play it, if y'all want me to play the whole campaign, then I'll be down to do that after I complete it once. So yeah, just tell me in the comment section if you like that. Oh yeah, and check out my community tab on my channel page. Just check that out. I have questions on, I want y'all's opinions on things about what ifs and shit, and other things that might have to do with either what ifs or streams. So I hope you all have a good day, and see y'all on the flip side.
Sweet dreams are made of screams. Those who lost their minds will disagree. You travel the world on a 70. Everybody's looking for someone, and they found you.
Now we start the movie with this girl that has silverish lilac hair. It's on the verge of either being white, or in the darkness it will be a dark purple. It just depends. With pinkish eyes and a very white skin color. A very, how should I say, beautiful snow white color of her skin. As we see her going into a kitchen, and she's carrying a slab of meat very carefully. As she walks into her kitchen, as she starts cooking the slab of meat, yeah, there it is. As she starts putting some seasoning in it, as she starts heating the skillet up and stuff, putting oil on the skillet, as she starts heating the meat up, as she has a big smile on her face, as she starts cooking the meals or the meat, as she cuts it into a few pieces, as we see her putting it on a plate with some vegetables, some sides, with a nice red wine with the meal. As she cuts up the piece of meat, as she opens her mouth and takes the first bite, as she slowly chews and savors the flavor, as she smiles widely, as she thinks, this is my best meal yet. I'm getting better at cooking. As she has a big wide smile, as we see her complete her meal after 10 to 15 minutes, as she takes her napkin out and she dabs her mouth clean. She puts it on top of her plate. She takes all the extra things that are on her plate into the trash can. As she dumps whatever's left that she won't eat nor needs to eat into it. As she rinses the dish off with her silverware, she puts it in the dishwasher. and she starts walking to a separate room after turning her dishwasher on and walking out of the kitchen as we hear a doorbell ring. As she smiles as she walks to her front door, as she gets into different rooms, as she passes the living quarters. This is the living quarters. She lives in a pretty huge mansion. As we see her open the door, as she smiles and she says, "Eda, it's been a while, old friend. How you doing? How you doing?" As Eda smiles as she says, "It has been a while. Izumi, it has been a while indeed." As he opens his arms, as she opens her arms, as they both embrace each other, as they hug, have a big deep hug, as they let go of each other after I'm going to say 3 minutes of hugging each other. As it says, "It has been a long time, Izumi. It has been a long time indeed." So let's get to the order of business. As he has a dark look on his face, as he tilts his glasses higher on his nose, with his eyes shining a tint of red, with his suit and black gloves on. As Izumi smiled at herself, as she would have thought any other girl would have fallen head over heels for this murder. But she's known this murder all her life, as they are the best of friends. After all, they know pretty much everything about each other. Because of their families, they grew up with each other. As any other girl would have fallen head over heels for Eda, but she sees him as a brother. With how they were raised, with the Eda family and the Midoriya family side by side, they're practically family. As she lets him into the mansion, as she says, "You should have told me you were coming. I would have had everything prepared, probably a meal for you." As Eda says, "No, no thanks. No, thank you for your hospitality, Izumi, but no, I'm not, how shall I say, like you. Yes, I'm not like you. I prefer normal food." As he has a smile on his face. As Izumi looks at him with a dark look on her eyes, as she squints her eyes, as she chuckles, as she says, yes, you're normal," she says with quotes in the air, as she uses her fingers as quotation marks. As she chuckles, as she says, "Normal as a murderer or an assassin from my family?" As Eda squints his eyes, as he says, "Yes, that's as normal as we're going to get with the Midoriya and Eda family. Someone that doesn't eat normal food, and someone that is an assassin." As he smiles at her, as they both chuckle at each other, as Izumi leads him to the other room, into the how should I say, living quarters. As they get into the lavish living quarters, as they both sit on the couch with Izumi pouring a glass of 2 glasses of, I'm going to say, tequila for her and scotch for Eda. As she picks up 2 glasses as she puts one glass in front of Eda as he takes it out of her hand and he sips the scotch. As she says, Izumi, your family always has the best liquor that I've ever tasted before. I don't know how your family does it. How do y'all keep finding the best liquor out there? The best wine, the best scotch, the best whiskeys, even the best tequila out there. How you do it, Izumi? How does your family do it? As Izumi looks at him as he smirks with a mischievous smile on her face as he says, with a smirk on her face as he says, it's a family secret, Eda. As Eda chuckles as he says, I'm going to find out one of these days. And one of these days I'm going to make you tell me, for God's sake. As she chuckles, as they both chuckle yet again. As she says, okay, order of business. There has been a person that's got a hit after me, Eda. As there's a bounty on my head now. As Eda looks at her, as he smiles, yet again, as he looks just like the picture right now, as he puts his glasses right on the tip of, as high as he can on his nose, as he smiles, as he says, do you want me to purge the family that put the hit out after you, or the person that is after you? Do you want me to purge them? There will be nothing of them left. You won't even see no headlines, no news, no nothing. Do you want it to be an accident, or do you want this to be a, how should I say? Do you want this to be known? Eda asks. As Izumi looks at Eda, as she smiles, as she says, I would like this to be kept under wraps. Let's make it look like an accident. As Eda smiles, as he picks up his phone, as he's about to call, but someone calls his phone. As Eda picks up the phone, as he says, hello? As the person on the other end of the phone says, Eda, something just occurred. As Eda just had a confused look on his face as he says, okay, tell me what's going on. As the person on the other end of the line says, I don't want to tell you this, but your brother's been hurt very much. As Eda has a cold look on his face, as he grits his teeth as he says, hurt? My brother? What type of hurt do you mean? As the person on the other end of the line says, it was the Hill Killer stain. They paralyzed your brother from the waist down. As Eda grits his teeth as he says, my foolish brother. God damn it. As he groans a little bit as he says, okay. I'll be at the hospital as fast as I can, as he sighs. As he hangs up the phone, as he groans, as he looks up into the ceiling, as Izumi looks at Eda as he says, my, I haven't seen that expression on your face. And God knows, I don't know when. As Eda looks at her as he says, "My brother, he's been paralyzed by the hero killer state." God damn it. He is the only hero that I would want to survive this world. He has a pure heart. Though I hate him for not joining the family legacy. I understand my brother wanting to get away from the family, how should I say, the family business. I respect him, but I hate him for that as well. Leaving me with the family. As you know, my family isn't the most hospitable bunch. As Izumi says, "Yes, I know that, Tenya dear, I know that, Tenya." As Tenya looks at her as he says, "You haven't said my name in a while since you came back from the accident." As we see Izumi's eyes shot wide at the mention of the accident. As she looks at him as she says, don't say or even talk about it. Don't even think it. I don't want to remember it." As we see her getting flashbacks of the events. As we see a picture of Izumi with her mother smiling as she is around 5 years old. Then we see her go to the quirk doctor. As they left the quirk doctor, and events kept happening even faster and faster with the flashbacks, as it was too much for Izumi. As we see a van drive right up to their limousine as a shootout occurs between Izumi's bodyguards and the van. As we see Izumi's bodyguards get taken out. As we see someone open the back limousine door. As they say, "Come here, brat." As Izumi's crying, as she's trying to hold on to the chair, but she's getting dragged out of the limousine. As we see her get hit by the side of the head with a weapon, as she falls to the ground, as she's crying anymore, as the person says, "Shut the fuck up, you monster," as they hit her on the top of the head yet again, knocking her unconscious, as they put a bag over her head, as they pick her up on their shoulders like a sack of potatoes, as they run to the van. And the next thing we see in her flashbacks, as we see her in a dark room getting tortured, as she's crying, as she is 7 years old at that point, as she is crying herself in a corner of a room, as the people will call it, but for her it's just a cell. She knows it's just a cell, it's no room. This is a living nightmare. As she is silently weeping, crying, as she gets this treatment by some people that won't reveal themselves. As she tried a lot of methods to get anybody to slip up. As time passes, as a year after her birthday of a year after her captivity, someone finally slipped up. As the name of the people that did this to her, she would never forget and never forgive. As a guard slipped up about the name, as he was dragging her to her next torture session, or experimentation, as they would call it, or she calls it torture session. As they said, the Hero Commission paid a lot of money for you. As once she heard that name, she never forgot nor forgave. As that was the last thing of her flashbacks. As she's starting to hyperventilate, as we see Eda holding her shoulder, as he's shaking her awake, as he sees her eyes darting every other place, as she says, "Calm down, Izumi, calm down. You are not there anymore. You're not with that bastard commission anymore. That goddamn Hero Commission. We're gonna raise that place to the ground one of these days. I swear to you, Izumi. We will fucking destroy them for what they did to you and your family." As Izumi calms down, as she says, "Thank you, Eda. Thank you." As she takes a sip from her tequila, as she squints, as she puts the glass down on the table, as she lays on the couch, as she says, "Eda, you need to see your brother." And she picks up her phone from her back pocket, or no, her pocket inside of her vest. As she looks at the time, as she says, "It is almost 6. I'm almost due for a appointment. I got a patient, Eda, so I'll see you later, Eda. It was nice to see you come by. And don't worry, Eda. I will have a how should I say? A task for you, Eda." As Eda looks at her, as he asks, "What's the task?" As she says, "Shall I tell you now or later?" As she looks at Eda's excited expression, as she smiles, as she says, "Okay, I'll tell you now, Eda." As she says, "I want you to be a spy for me. In case of my things ever catch up to me, I want you to be very close to the heroes. I want you to be an exchange student. Even though how should I say? Yes. I want you to be an exchange student for the 3rd year of UA, Eda." As Eda was surprised, as he says, "An exchange student? I'll have to catch up on a lot of stuff on the hero world if I wanted to do that." As Izumi smiles, as she says, "Stop lying. You don't have to catch up at all. After all, your family is a hero family after all." As Eda smiled, as he says, "Yes, that is true. but that's only to disguise our real family business. As Izumi says, yes, yes. You are one of the most prominent Yakuzas in Japan, below mine, and the Hasakai being the third in Japan. As Eda says, though I have to ask Izumi, how has Miss Inkle been? How has Auntie been? As Izumi says with a expression on his face as he says, I haven't seen her in a while. She's mostly off doing the family business. She never really has time for me anymore. Ever since me coming back, she's been busy with the family business, taking care of all the stuff for it, being the leader of the Midoriya clan. As Eda smiled as he says, it was nice catching up with you, Izumi. As we hear the doorbell ring, as Izumi stood up, she says, my appointment is here. Or my patient is here, she says. As Eda smiled. As they both walk to the front of the door, as we see Izumi open the door with Eda leaving, as he greeted the person that is outside the door, she says, hello ma'am, welcome to the Midoriya estate. Here is your lovely psychiatrist, Miss Izumi Midoriya. As the person smiled as they say, thank you. As Eda left, as Izumi says, so, it's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Shield. As we see Melissa Shield walk into the mansion and shake hands with Izumi. As Izumi says, let me lead the way to the lounge area. You should be really comfortable in the lounge area. As they get into lounge area, as Izumi says, how has your time been in Japan since I'm coming here? I saw from your profile as you are from Island. That's where you're from, Miss Shield. As Melissa says, yes, it is true, I am from my island. And as you know, my father is David Shield. And yeah, as she says, I really don't know how to start this. As Melissa says, as they sit down on the couch in the living quarters. Or not the living quarters, the lounge quarters. The lounge area. As Izumi says, it's okay, it's fine. As we see Izumi pull out a notepad and a pen. As she clicks the pen to start. As she says, let's start now. As she puts on the timer, and we see her having her session with Melissa. As time passes and the time is up, as we see Izumi smile as she says, my, I almost forgot the time. As we see Izumi say, as she stops the timer, As she says, that is all we have for today, Miss Shield. I hope you have a lovely night, and I hope you come back another time. As we see Melissa Shield smile as she says, yes, that would be much appreciated. As Izumi says, in my office next time we'll go to my office and I'll tell you some things that I think would actually help you in the future, Miss Shield. As Miss Shield, Melissa Shield smiles as she says, thank you. Yet again, Miss Midoriya, I can't thank you enough to let me finally let my emotions all out on someone. I'm sorry to burn you on all my feelings. As we see Izumi say, she says nonsense as she gets up from her chair. As we see the same thing happen with Melissa. They both get up from their chairs. As Izumi says nonsense. It is my job after all. I am a psychiatrist. I am here to listen to your problems. It is my job. It is what my profession is after all. As she smiles greatly, as we see her walk Melissa out of her apartment or mansion. As they shake hands, as she says, it has been a pleasure seeing you, Miss Melissa. As they both go their separate ways, as Melissa leaves the compound or the mansion, going to her own house that's in Japan. As we see Izumi smile disappear within a second, as she has a pretty blank looking face, as she cracks her neck, as she closes her door, and she walks into her apartment or mansion. As she goes down to the bottom floor, as she goes to the basement, as we see her go to a bookshelf, as she pulls out a book and lets go of it, as we see the book go back to its place without her touching it, as we see the bookshelf move, as this is a secret passageway in her mansion. As we see her walk into the entryway, as she walks down the stairs, and she goes down a pretty dark hallway until she gets to the very end, as she sees light, a pretty good amount of light inside this room. As she opens the door, as we see a table, we see a pretty large area that is pretty cold, with hooks all around the area, with a long table with a cutter and a lot of other utensils and stuff. As we see human bodies and parts all over the place, as we see blood scattered throughout the whole room, as Izumi smiles blissfully as she says, this is my happy place where I can get away from all my problems. As she smiles, as she gets close to a a little, how should I say, a little refrigerator that's inside the place. As we see her open it, as it has a few, it has a lot of meat in it, let's say, that's stored inside the fridge. She takes out a slab of meat that was from a hand. She takes a bite of it without taking any without anything, without cooking it or nothing. She starts just biting into and chewing it. She walks towards a long table. She gets it prepped for tonight. She says, "I have another victim for you, my dear Cutter," Izumi says in the very dark tone. As we see her walk off into the first floor of her apartment. I keep saying apartment. I'm terribly sorry. Her mansion. She changes her clothes into very dark clothing. She has a hoodie on. Black high thigh socks, a black skirt, black boots, and black black hoodie, and black gloves to cover everything. As she has a black mask on as well. She has let's say she goes to another room in the second story. She goes up to the second story of her mansion. She doesn't really go over here too much. As she smiles, as she gets into a certain room, as she has a passcode to it. She enters the passcode as the door opens, slides open. As she takes a step in, as we see a full armory of weapons, utensils, anything that could help her the advantage in a fight. As she smiles, as she looks at all the ARs, assault rifles, pistols, snipers, SMGs. She even has a lot of melee weapons. She thinks, this person is a very dangerous person I'm going after today. What type of weapon should I use for you? Should I humiliate you or not? Should I take you seriously or humiliate you? I don't know. As we see time pass by, as it is 12 p.m. As we see a person that just took out a whole place full of guards. She is at her last location in the house. She came all this way to assassinate a cartel and a cartel boss in Japan. As there's not many cartels in Japan, if not any. As this guy was really reckless in his business, as he has been making a lot of problems for other mob families in Japan. So they wanted his head on a silver platter. So they got an assassin to take him out. As she gets right next to the door, and she bangs the door open with her shoulder. As she pulls her silent pistol out, as we see the boss on his phone as he looks up very fast, as we already see the girl with white hair and blood red eyes with a business suit on, having her silenced pistol already aiming at the head of the man. As the man says, "Have mercy," as he drops his phone, as he's shivering, as she says, "I have no mercy," as she shoots him point blank in the forehead, as he drops like a sack of potatoes after the shot. As she takes out her phone and she takes a picture of her work. As we see her disappear from view after taking the picture, as she goes invisible. Her and her outfit goes invisible as she walks out of the house. She's a few blocks away as she appears yet again with her pistol inside of her suit. As she's just walking casually, as she walks by a certain alleyway, as we see two arms pull her into the alleyway, as she tries to scream out, but she couldn't, as right whenever she was about to hit the person already had injected her with a substance. As she got injected with something, as she pushed the person back, as they stumbled a little bit, as she takes out the needle out, as she slams on the ground, as she's holding her neck, as she grumbles, as she stumbles a little bit, as she says, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you?" As we see a person wearing all black, as we hear a modulator that covers the voice, as they chuckle, as they say, "Wouldn't you like to know? It's night time." As she was about to pull her pistol out, but she quickly went unconscious before she could pull her pistol out of her suit. As the person picked her up like a sack of potatoes, and they disappeared within the darkness of the alley. The only thing that was left was a needle on the ground. As we see an hour later, as we see this woman strapped to a chair or a table, as she is strapped down by both of her feet and both of her arms and her neck, as she's trying to wiggle her way out, as her arms are strapped with leather straps. And this is pretty tough leather. Let me tell you, this is the toughest leather that is on this planet. It is infused with some metal. The same type of metal that is made out of Aizawa's scarf. So she cannot take her pull her arms out of the straps. As she tries to wiggle her way, as we hear a noise, as it's a clicking noise. As she looks over, as she sees a silhouette of a person in front of a piece of as we see a silhouette of someone putting a human body, or at least what's left of a human body, on a how should I say, on a hanger, or whatever you call it, hooks. Yes, a hook. As she she screams a little bit, scared shitless at the human body that is almost totally gone, as half of the face is pretty much gone, the arm and leg, 2 legs, 1 arm, and half of an arm left. That is all that's left of the body. Half of a face, the body itself, and an arm, or at least half of an arm. As the figure looked back, as she sees a beautiful girl with silvery hair, with ruby-like eyes, and a domineering presence. As the presence alone shook her to her core, as she didn't know what it was. She doesn't get scared by anything, but this presence is predatorial. It is looking at her like she is prey, as she feels primal fear of this girl. As we see the girl snap her fingers, as we see a little bit of electricity coming out of her hands, as she says, "My, if it isn't Miss Hitwoman, you're finally awake." As the woman says, "Well, why did you take me? What did I do wrong? Did I kill anyone of your family? Anything like that?" I've killed multiple people in my life, so you have to be clear about this. As we see Izumi chuckle a little bit as she says, "No, it's nothing like that." As she walks toward her with a utensil in her hand, as she walks closer to the woman, as the woman is pretty much shaken at this point, as she asks, "Why did you take me here then? Just to kill me or something? Are you one of those sick bastards?" And she says, No. I don't kill just because I can kill someone. I don't torture just to torture. I do this because, well, yes, I do this because you used to work for the commission," she says as she squinted her eyes at the woman, as the woman squinted her eyes as she says, with it in a serious tone, "Yes, and what about it?" As Izumi chuckles as she says, "So, I want to get every little bit of information I can on the commission, the Hero Commission. Every little detail that you know about them, you give to me. But if you don't, I can make the rest of your pitiful life a living hell. As the woman said, I've been tortured before. You got nothing on me. As she says with a shaky voice, as Izumi has a very evil, pure malice on her face, pure wickedness in her eyes. As she smiles as she says, "Oh really?" As she holds one of the woman's hands down, she tries to wiggle her other arm, trying to stop her, but she can do nothing. She looks at Izumi as she picks up a hatchet. As she raises the hatchet up, as the woman's eyes widen, as she screams, "No, no, 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 no!" As she slams it down on the woman's fingers, as the woman screams in pure agony, as her fingers on one of her hands has been chopped off, and not, how should I say, not in any type of order. It wasn't a clean cut. She cut off a few of her fingers off. A little bit of her pinky was left. Only half of her pinky was cut. Most of her thumb was left, but the top and her other three main fingers were pretty much practically gone. As she screams in pure agony, as she is pretty much trying to get away from Izumi now. She's screaming and screaming as she sees Izumi pick up one of her fingers. As she says, I bet this is pretty tasty. I wonder what your quirk is like," Izumi says with a very wicked look on her face. As the woman looked at her, as we see Izumi consume part of her finger, as she's biting off meat off of her finger, as she has pure fear in her now, as she sees the girl eating her finger, as that is not human anymore. She is eating her. She's not a human, she's a demon from hell. There's no way that she can be human anymore. As we see time pass by, as little by little, Izumi has been cutting parts of the woman's legs, her arms, her shoulders. She starts cutting into her lower parts, the lower part of the woman's body, using many type of medical how should I say, medical equipment to keep the woman alive in stasis, keeping her alive while experiencing her body parts getting taken away from her. As multiple times, as this has been going on by a few weeks has passed by, as the woman has already given all the information that Izumi wanted to know. Right now, though, she's just begging for death. As At this point, the woman only has her upper, her head, she only has her body and her neck and head. The pieces of her stomach and ass, even her breast, were removed. At this point, as she is just dead on the inside. As we see Izumi finally come in, as she looks at the woman, as the woman looks at Izumi with a expression that says she is dead inside, an expression that she has nothing to live for, nothing to go by, nothing. She has no will to live anymore. As Izumi physically and mentally broke this woman. As Izumi smiles as he says, "Would you like me to end your suffering, finally?" As the woman looks at Izumi, as she nods, as Izumi chuckled as she says, "Okay." As she takes out a certain needle. As she injects the needle into the woman's body. As her adrenaline spiked. As she's starting to thrash around now, as her body is moving, as she's getting a heart attack. As her body thrashes for a minute and a half before the woman's eyes went wide after her body went limp, as her head looked down towards her body, as she slowly closed her eyes. The last thing that she saw before she died was Izumi's terrifying grin. To the moment of her death, that grin will terrify her, even in the pits of hell, if she actually goes to a hell, like she thinks there is. That grin will terrify her more than the devil himself. As she finally closes her eyes, as she died. As we see one of the medical equipment that monitors the woman's heart flatlines, as Izumi turns the machine off, as she takes over the cording off of the woman, as she finally places the woman's remaining parts of her body on a hook into the fridge, or not really the fridge, but freezer, where she puts all of her bodies in. As she has a human-sized, huge freezer, pretty much right by the area where she cuts all the bodies up. As we see time pass by, and Izumi's having a fantastic time. As we finally hear a knock on her door. As Izumi walks towards her door, as she opens it, as we see the police in her front door, as they say, "We have a warrant to search this area." As Izumi is in shock, as she says, "What do you need, officer, to search?" As the officer looked at her as he says, "Oh, have you not been informed, Miss Midoriya? Your family, your mother has been taken away to prison. Your family business is gone. You cannot get away from this no more." As he says, "We have a warrant to get you under arrest with your mother, with your Yakuza mother." As Izumi is in shock and she grits her teeth as she says, "You have no right to warn me. I have done nothing wrong." As the officer puts her in cuffs, as she says, "We'll see about that after we search his premises." As Izumi clicks her tongue, as she thinks, "God damn it." As they get her in a police car, puts her under surveillance, and they police in police custody pretty much, as they search her property. As we finally see on the second day of searching her property, as we see this man walk into the property, as he says, "Anything suspicious?" As the officer says, "Nope." The leading officer that's searching the premises says, "Nope, not so far." As we see this man just click his tongue as he says, "We gotta search it thoroughly. Are you sure that this is the daughter of Ingo Midoriya, the number one Yakuza mob leader of this century?" As the officer says, "Yes, is a positive, Mr. Koski, Bakugo Koski." As Bakugo clicks his tongue out again, as he says, "God damn, I gotta do everything myself." As he turns on a flashlight, as he helps search the area himself. As he looks around the property, as he goes to the second floor, as he goes to a few rooms that doesn't have anything out of the ordinary. As the first thing the officers did was look at Izumi's computer in their office, which obviously was had countermeasures against some cops. So once the cops tried to open her computer, it pretty much blew up on them, let's say, or short-circuited, let's say. It didn't blow up on anything, but it short-circuited and it turned off. It broke on them. As we see Bakugo Koski look at a certain door in a room, as it has a passcode. As he smirked, as he takes out a few things out of his coat, as he rubs it against all the buttons, showing which code, what the code probably is. Looking at all the buttons, as seeing all the fingerprints on certain buttons the most. What is the 4-digit code to this door? As he sees the fingerprints on the most on 4 certain buttons. As he smirked as he says, okay, let's do this. As he writes on a notebook with a pen all the code numbers that he could actually think of, plus more that any other officer would have thought of, and he did all of them. As they were at a crossroads, as they weren't getting any answers until they finally got one of the last codes that they had left. And it opened. As they went inside the room carefully, as Koski had one of his guns out. As he looked inside the armory, as he said, holy shit, this woman was packing. And this is illegal. Look at all these illegal firearms. As he looks at his fellow officers, as he smirks as he says, for someone innocent, she is quite packing. Though granted, she is a mob's daughter, so it makes sense. But this much? Is she trying to go to war with someone? He chuckles. As he says, confiscate this, take it out. As he says, I'm going to search for more areas. As we see Bakugo start searching for other areas, as we see an officer shout out saying there's something suspicious with a certain a bookshelf on the very bottom of the basement. As Koski went over there, as he sees something on the back of a bookshelf of like the man was talking about, as it has some linings that shouldn't really happen in the back of it. As he smirked, as he says, a secret door, huh? As he was about to go through that, we go to Izumi. As she smirked through the whole time while being in the police how should I say, in police custody. She's in the room while being interrogated about her mother's dealings with all the Yakuza families and mobs and the underground in Japan. As Izumi just had her mouth shut. She says out loud to the third cop that has tried to interrogate her. She says, y'all are awfully boring. No wonder it took y'all this long to finally capture my mother. You probably found one thing that she got wrong and finally got her, that she overlooked. I'm sure that won't happen again. As Izumi chuckles darkly. as we see the officer get mad as he gets up, as he says, "Oh, you're going to get into Tartarus just like your mother. You bitch," he says under his voice, as he walks out of the interrogation room, as Izumi had a frown on her face, as she has a tick mark on her forehead, as she says, "Oh, you're going to get it," she says under her breath. As she looks at the the one-way mirror in the interrogation room, as she says, "Are y'all really going to keep me here all night long? Really? I got things to do." "After this, y'all are all going to hell," she says. As we see Izumi just sit back down in her chair carefully, as she thinks, "Come on, Eda, where are you?" As we see another officer with a cap on, hiding half of the top of his face, as we see him open the door, enter the interrogation room, as he's a little bit bulky and he's pretty tall for his other peers, as he has a smirk on his face, as he has an officer outfit on, as he sits on the other side of the interrogation room, as he says, as he looks up at Izumi, well, still hiding his full face on the camera, as he says, "Izumi, they can't hear us at the moment. I have bugged them, let's say, for a short amount of time. Do you want me to blow this place to Kingdom Come? They have taken your family down. It's only a matter of time before they get to my family." As we see Izumi smile, as she says, "Yes, that would be wonderful, Eda. That would be quite a wonderful thing for you to do. Oh, this place of Kingdom Come, and I would love to kill some guards." As she says, "What's the time limit?" As she says, "I have my quirk suppression handcuffs, as you can see." As she says, as she puts it put her hand over the table, as Eda smiles, as he says, "Okay." As he takes out a remote from his front pocket and his jacket on his suit, as he presses a button, as we hear an explosion happen on the other side of the glass, the one-way mirror, as we hear the glass crack a little bit, as Eda gets up, takes out his keys, unlocks her work suppressing cuffs, as he says to Izumi, "Izumi, you are free now. Use your quirk how you like." As Izumi smiles, as she levitates a little bit, as she holds Eda's shoulder, as she says, "With pleasure. It's been such a long time since I went all out with my quirk. I don't get many chances like this, don't I, Eda?" As she teleports outside of the interrogation room, as officers are scattering around, trying to go to every other place as Izumi snaps her fingers as her hand starts running electricity around the hand. As she has red electricity running around her hand as she zaps the first cop that she sees right in the head, blowing his head up with electricity. As we see blood splatter everywhere. As she smiles and she says, Eda, it's time for you to let your restraints go as well. As we see Eda smile as he unbuttons his suit in an orderly fashion. As he takes off his suit pants, letting at least half of his suit pants off, showing his armor on his feet, as he says, with pleasure, Miss Midoriya. As he says, as he runs towards the first cop he sees, as he kicks them in the face, as they fall to the ground, as they're still conscious, as they held themselves up with their hands, close to the floor, as he just keeps kicking the person in the face over and over and over and over and over again, as the man's face is pretty much mushed into a pulp. As we see Eda having the stance just like this picture, but instead of that outfit, he only has the armor on his pants, or at least on half of his pants, and he has the suit, though his suit is unbuttoned. As he smirked, as he says, it's been a while since I've had this fun, Izumi. Let's go out on these 5-0. As they go on a rampage and they pretty much destroy the police they pretty much destroyed the police station with all its inhabitants, as they weren't at the police station where the main cop is at an MHA, the guy that can tell if you're lying or not. I forgot what his name was. I'm terribly sorry. I have to remember his name at some point. But yeah, as they walked out of the building with it exploding, as Izumi says, I love my quirks. As Eda says, you mean the quirks you stole? As she says, I earned those quirks. I didn't steal them like someone else would. As Eda smiled as he says, that is true. Though his quirk lets him steal quirks, you, on the other hand, your quirk is more unique than his. As long as you eat a certain amount of a person, a certain amount of their meat, let's say, it says, you can gain their quirk. Eda smiles while saying that, as Izumi smiles as she says, as long as I have enough people, it could be very interesting on how many quirks I can get. I am quite a glutton after all. You can only imagine how many quirks I can carry throughout my whole life, Izumi said with a smile. As Eda smiles as well as he says, "You are the most powerful person I know, Izumi. Let's take care of the cops in your house next. But we will be known as villains now. You know that, right, Izumi?" As Izumi says, "Let them all come. I wanted to do this low key. I've been doing it for a while because of the show commission. But if they already know, they're gonna know about me soon. So I need to make my move very soon. Eda, are you with me?" Eda says, "Always, madam. Though I do have to say, are you gonna break your mother out of Tyler's prison at some point?" As Izumi says, "Of course, she's my mother after all. Though she doesn't see me too often, I understand why. I love her. She's my mother after all. I will break her out at some point whenever I can, whenever I get enough strength." As he nods, as he says, "Another thing. We need more people at our side. We need more aides than just you and me. Even though we say we can take on the world together, we need more people to take on the show commission and the heroes as a whole, the hero society." Eda says, as Izumi nods as they keep walking out down the road of the police station. As Eda breaks into a car, as it's a pretty nice looking car. As she gets into the passenger seat, as she says, "So, who do you think is at my house right now?" And Eda says, "Probably some big shots. Some wannabe cop wannabes that want a higher paycheck." As Izumi says, "You're right. Let's go to my house and kill everyone there is for even touching my things." As she has an angry look on her face. As she says, "Let's raise hell, Eda." As Eda nods and they drive off to the distance to where Izumi's house is. And that is going to be it for What If Deku Was a Cannibal. We had some action. This is mainly a one shot. I can easily make this continue. I really made that cliffhanger for me to continue it next year. I'm going to actually make this a What If, I decided, every October. Because of, I find that interesting, doing it every October. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do it, this series. It's going to be in October, a seasonal thing. For every October, I'm going to make one episode of this. Though the wait will be long, the story as the years go by will be probably better. Probably only a few more parts. This will be one of the series that I look back on for years to see how far I've come in storytelling. So yeah, that's why I decided that. So I hope you all like this What If. Hope you all have a good day or night. I hope you like, subscribe, and give me a comment in the comment section. Because I will have a lot more content like this in the future. I have a few more Part Zeros I want to bring out before I end this month. I really want to bring out a few more What Ifs. that I've had an idea about on making for quite a while. Let me show you the other what ifs I really want to make. Yeah, I want to make this what if before this month ends. Let me show you a few other more part zeros I want to make for this month ends, and I will make that other what if, the what if on the 30th or 31st, whichever what if Deku was Lestat, Lion Court. That will be the Halloween what if, the Halloween special, and that will only be a one-part thing, a one-shot, a movie, like I said. But yeah, I wanted to make this what if Deku was a Toretto. I've had this under wraps for the longest time, but I've been wanting to make it forever, and I mean forever. So yeah, I've been wanting to make this what if forever. So this is, I'm finally getting to it. Here's an update on this what if. I literally have no idea on how to make this what if really good at the moment. I am at a crossroads on what if Deku was changed. I am literally on a crossroads on how to make it good without but yeah, I really don't know how to make a Jinx what if without immediately copying how Arcane did it. They literally made her character perfectly. I literally wouldn't know what else to really do, but I'll figure it out at some point. I will end up making this what if, but I just don't know. No, I don't know how at the moment. So yeah, let me show you another couple what if part zeros I want to make before I end this movie. Yeah, I do want to make what if Jiro was raised by Harley Quinn. That would be one of the what ifs I really want to bring out. Like I said before, I want to start making other classmates of Deku into their own stories, their own what ifs. So I want to make a what if without him being the main character. Though, like I said in the what's it called, trailer of this, he will be a main part of the story. I think he'll be a main part in every classmate story. He will either be the what's it called? I would just say he will be a main part of it. But yeah, I want to make this. I have an idea on this what if finally. This will actually be a rated 18 what if, 18 plus what if. This will be the only one that I actually, because of the type of creature the succubus is, I literally cannot not make it I cannot make it PG-13. It's impossible to do a succubus right. It will be the only thing that I explain in very gory details on sexual activities, and it's gonna be pretty bloody what if and a very sexual what if. So yeah, so I hope you like this, all these ideas. Oh yeah, one more. What if Deku was Reaper? I have a great storyline for this. It would be pretty interesting to do. So yeah, I hope you all have a good day or night, whatever your time zone is. Like, subscribe, give me a comment in the comment section, and peace out, my monster family.